Today's guest is the true definition of building life on your own terms, and someone I know this community is going to relate to, but also love this conversation. She is a new wife, a mum, CEO. She took an idea all the way through to a thriving business. Online, she's known as the Airbnb Hacker, and she teaches people how to build income and wealth through rental properties. If you've ever wondered what the real behind the scenes looks like, what it really does take to balance motherhood and building a business and the stress and the chaos that all of that brings, then this episode is for you. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of The Rising's Growing Together. I'm joined by my co-host. Hey. And we have Yaiza with us today.
Hello.
So welcome to Growing Together. I'm really excited to have you here. We were just saying before we started recording, you've got so many things going on. This hopefully won't be a 4-hour episode. No. We do have to pick the kids up at the end of the day. But no, I'm really excited to dive into it because there's lots that I think a lot of our community can relate to in terms of running a business, motherhood, just the general kind of life stresses and pressures that it comes with people who are ambitious that, you know, want to do big things and want big lives, which is safe to say all of us here.
Yeah.
So we always like to start with an opening tradition question. Mm-hmm. So what is a quote or a saying that you live your life by right now?
I would say you just have to be brave enough to do the things you're scared to do. Mm-hmm. Most things in my life that are worth it came out from hard decisions and being brave enough to take them. Yeah. So I would say just be brave and go on.
Yeah. Definitely. What's the saying that I like? Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah.
I said I want to get that tattooed.
You say that a lot, to be fair. But it's right. It comes down to that bravery of pushing yourself to do something that seems a little bit scary, and like you say, most of those things that are always worth it.
And biting more than you can chew, because you'll find the way to chew it anyways.
That's definitely it. I saw something the other day and it was, you know, you doubt yourself a lot for someone who's always figured it out, and I was like, that is so true. That is me. Like, I definitely overthink and doubt myself, but I've always managed to figure it out. And like you say, if you jump a little bit too early, bite a bit more than you can chew, then you will figure it out. And at the end of it, I think that's how you build confidence. Would you say that you've always been brave and had that mentality, or it's something you've had to get better at?
I think you train it, and I'm not done completely, obviously. So I think I'll get more into it, and you guys probably as well. You train it. You are less confident in 20, you achieve things and you get your goals, so you are a little more confident and you're a little bit more and a little bit more. And I think I'm going to be more.
I think life experiences give you them these different qualities as you grow up as well, you know. So
and I think a lot of people think you have to build your confidence to take that jump, but actually it's taking the jump that gives you the confidence.
Exactly.
I don't think that you are successul, then you're confident. I think you just figure it out and you build it along the way. Because you can't, if you wait to be confident first, it's going to take you a long time.
No, you're confident because you've done it, because you've achieved what you say you would achieve. So that makes you confident.
So you are the self-proclaimed Airbnb hacker.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more. What is, for everyone watching, your livelihood? What do you do?
Yeah, we rent houses, all kind of rentals, but we are 80% specialized in holiday rentals. So we know about it more than anyone.
So do you help people that have them, or are you managing other people's for them, or how does it work?
Well, our main business is managing other people's properties, but now we're investing ourselves on it as well a little bit, but that's not even 20% of our income.
Okay. Because I've seen you with hard hats and everything on in properties and buildings. So are you involved in renovations of those properties as well, or is that your own? Or
Yeah, no, the last house we bought, it was wrecked. It was a disaster. So we have to put all down and build from scratch. So it's been quite stressing. That's one of my main stresses at the moment.
Oh yeah, I've done 2 full renovations, complete, like top to bottom, moving walls, pools, everything.
But while living here,
that's
the most stressful.
Yeah.
I nearly got divorced when I did that.
That's true, because both of ours, we never lived in it.
Yeah.
When I grew up, my dad's a property developer, my mum's basically the interior designer, and together they do it all.
Okay.
And I've lived in a lot of house renovations, so I had the luxury of not having to do it myself, but I grew up in house renovations. I'd come home and my bedroom wasn't where it was, when I left for school. But tell us a bit more about the stresses of renovations, because there's a lot of unplanned things that crop up.
Yeah, well, I can tell you more about our own house where we live renovation, which took place, well, baby was started walking, so 2 years and a half.
Let's just throw a baby in with the house renovations.
Yeah. All covered in dust and things on the floors she could get caught with. It was a nightmare.
Yeah. It's like you can never see the end, isn't it? It's like, is this ever going to be finished and clean, and is the list ever going to end and we're going to live in
And you don't have a date either when you do renovations.
No, it started February and we ended in December.
Yeah. Yeah. Dates are never the same, and neither is usually the budget.
Yeah. Everything goes over time and over budget.
Yeah. Everything was €1,000.
Yeah.
Every extra, everything you want to add or everything that isn't planned, 1,000.
Yeah. It's really tough.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint-hearted, and even going to IKEA, I think, can really end in divorce, so let alone a whole house renovation.
No, it's very different refurbishing a house that you don't live in. Like we stress with the world, not between each other. I mean, we get angry with the builder, not between each other. So it's very different.
Yeah, well, that's a good tip. So take your frustrations out on everybody else.
And I think it's different. You've got that space to be at home.
Yeah.
I think when you're doing it in your own home, you haven't got a getaway. You've got your space.
You don't have a break from it.
It's definitely a different circumstance.
And you can relax because there's always something or someone strange in the house and watching you.
Type of stress, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a lot to juggle all of that at the same time. Like you say, totally worth it by the end of it, but it's tough to get through that. But just going back to your business, you started it completely from scratch, no contacts, no experience. What made you believe that you could do it?
Well, I had my safety net because I was working in a estate agent and they used to do rentals. Mm-hmm. It wasn't his main activity, but they did them and I was managing them because I was the only worker them. And I had a few houses empty from my family, my grandma, some of my aunts, and I said, okay, I can do that. So I started when I was in the estate agent working. And as soon as all these little houses made a good salary, I obviously quitted and I started with it. But someone gave me the idea.
No, that's great. I think there's so much glamorization around be an entrepreneurship, work for yourself, and be an entrepreneur and work for yourself. But nearly everyone that I watch who's successful that runs big businesses say, do it on somebody else's money. Start working for someone. If you can work within the industry that you're looking at, even better. But do it on the side and build it up to the point. I think everyone gets so excited to just, quit my job and I'll figure it out. And it's like that, if you've got a lot behind you to, rely on, then sometimes that can be the push that you need. But I think the better way of doing it is to grow it solidly, slowly, so that you're managing it. Because if you grow as well too fast, it can all fall apart.
Yeah, no, I definitely think the same. You cannot put all your eggs and just try. You have to use it as a side until it can become your main. Yeah, it's a lot of work at the beginning, obviously. And when I did this, I don't know if you know, but I also had a night business going on, and because this business was failing, because you remember, well, of course you do. Genius area and all of that. I had a pub there, a nightclub.
Yes, we went out one night. Yeah, we were there. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And well, the area was going great and everything was money, and until they put this, how are you saying in English, sanatorium?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the crematorium.
Yeah, next to it. So obviously anyone wanted to go there, and everyone went to Belize and parking area and all of this. So from one day to the next day, it was empty. And obviously we had an investment there, and we were there only for a year, so we had costs to cover yet. So we were there for half more a year trying to get someone to sell it to, not to lose the investment. Silly thing to do now. Now I see that I only lost money, so I needed another job. That's how I started in the state agency that I'm telling you I got the idea from. So it was 3 jobs I had managing at the moment.
And also, like you say, going through that probably set you up with enough experience to do things differently the next time. And, you know, I'm glad you share that, because people looking at you now would think, oh, she's had it easy. And it's not as easy as it looks on Instagram.
Definitely not.
You go through a lot, and sometimes it isn't your first business that makes you
it wasn't.
all the money.
And not in the same field. It's not like you've stayed in the same field.
You've gone from
of business. You know, that's
entertainment,
a completely different field to what you do now. So yeah, even go, like you say, you went into that estate agent job because thinking income, I need income because this
didn't work.
At the moment is failing. I need some income. I still need to live. And from that, you've grown into something else, and it's took you on another path. So yeah, it is. It's inspiring to hear, because like you say, everyone kind of goes on the, let's just say, the textbook of, oh, this is how easy it is, and it's not always that way. Or most of the time.
No. And most things aren't in the books, so you need to learn them yourself. You're going to fail a few times before you do it, because they won't tell you. It's not that they won't tell you deliberately because they don't want you to know. It's that because everyone is in their own path. So what they tell you is probably not applying to your situation. You have to find out your own.
There's so many scenarios that can crop up and things that can happen. And, you know, I remember being at college and I studied law and I was going to do a law degree. I ended up realising how much reading it took, and I was like, let's change the degree. So I did international trade instead. But I remember being at college, and I remember the teacher and thinking, like, you know, you look up to your teachers and stuff. And then I heard someone say, if you can't do it, you teach it. So people that are teaching business, economics, and all these things,
we earn more than them now.
Why aren't they doing it? Like, they're teaching me the textbook of it, but have they actually ever run a business? Have they ever actually practiced law? There is that saying.
Theory into practice.
And it's the same with, like, learning languages. Like, it's one thing to look at a book and look at all the different tenses, but it's a whole nother thing to actually communicate in another language. So it's the actual practicality of doing life. And
that's what makes me laugh. I think one of my kids pointed out once about this thing that come up on, I don't know, social media, of something like some along these lines of, like, is your PE teacher fit though? No, they're not. They're like old and not fit. You know, like these sort of things. What do you expect us to think when this is the thing that we're given? But yeah, it's true. It definitely needs to put into practice. So.
And one of the reasons why, you know, I wanted to create this community is because I find that maybe it's because I'm looking online that, you know, in America and the UK, there's all these, like, communities of business women, but here I don't feel it as much. So obviously now it's great that we're starting to build this community and we get to have these conversations and kind of be that support for each other. But I imagine you probably didn't have many people going through what you were going through.
No,
especially
not at all.
At your age.
Even now, like in some of the podcasts, they asked me, what's the worst thing? And I said, the loneliness. Don't you feel lonely? I was like, anyone understands what you do and how you think. Everyone thinks you're bragging or showing off. People are, the loneliness. I feel so lonely in this area.
No, I definitely feel that. And, you know, especially when you're going through tough times or you're overthinking things, second guessing things. Am I doing the right thing? Am I far enough along? What can I do to scale, go to the next level? And it's like all of these pressures.
Sometimes just celebrating, like you say, you feel like there's no one to celebrate with anyone because I've done all this and I've got through it. And then when I do celebrate it, when I show it, someone might pull me down for it. Where's the community of the
women support
and
bigging each other up?
Yeah.
Because
I've seen, this might sound against woman, and I'm a girl's girl. I'm really up. But I've noticed the last years that some girls or some friends are there when you're low, when you're down.
Yeah.
But it's not really because they love you that much. It's because they feel good having you down.
Yeah.
And when you go up, they don't like it.
See.
And they take distance.
Yeah.
You know? They don't say anything, but they take distance.
You notice it.
Yeah.
I think
their
that's
presence
a really
is different.
good... Yeah.
Their presence is different when you're going through different stages.
Yeah.
Not everyone, but you can notice it.
No, I think that's a really good point to make, because I think it supports that loneliness theory of, we've all got our friends, but there's friends that you have that, as you go through different seasons of life, whether it is starting businesses, growing your businesses, seeing success, getting married, having kids, your friendships change.
Yeah.
Luckily, some stick around.
You're so lucky. You're on the same path, same visions. So
yeah,
you're very lucky.
We've got a lot in common, but we do a lot of things differently as well. So we're quite lucky that we still are close in that sense.
Yeah.
But you do notice you gain friends and you lose friends when you're an ambitious woman who's kind of doing it all. And it is a real shame that some women believe that if you're shining, it takes it away from me. Whereas actually there's enough shine for all of us. And, there's been times where I've been promoted and, you might not be where you want to be in your career, and you've supported me and you've cheered me on. And there's other times where, you're going off out on your own and I'm supporting you. And now I may be thinking that, oh, my career's a bit stagnant. Like, it doesn't matter what I've got going on. Like, we should always be showing up and cheerleading our friends.
Yeah, definitely. But if you think about it, I've been talking to Nandi about this like night after night, because is the only thing in my life that is a little bit sad is that it feels lonely. All the other areas are great, but we talk about this a lot, and we come to the conclusion that it's not personal, it's not something about you, it's that you being successful or you doing something reminds them what they could do, and they decide not to pursue.
Yeah.
So you don't have to take it personal, but that people, when they look at you, they get reminded that you haven't tried, that that they don't do it, and that they could, because you can. You come from the same place, and they can as well, and they don't do it. Because if you think of it, they don't feel like this about successful people that they don't know.
Yes.
They praise their success.
They want that. They're great. They're inspirational.
That's because they think they're different. They are able to achieve them, but they are not.
They give them excuses. Oh, and it was easy for you, and you lived in this place, and you had this people supporting you, and this investment, and that education. But you're right. When it's that close to me, actually, how they're treating you is all about their own insecurities. Because like you say, you're putting a mirror up to them and saying,
definitely,
I went through the shit because I pushed myself and I wanted to, and I've overcome things, and that's good for me. But you can also do it. And actually, you've got a friend who's done it. So really, you should be,
more inspired. It's
more
there.
inspired
in front of you.
And asking for help. But you're right, it does usually, unfortunately, go the other way.
We've said it before, it's usually they, like you say, especially with more social things, they like and share all these people that they don't even know, yet they don't share the people that are so close to them that they want them.
That is my biggest bugbear. That is my biggest bugbear, is that they say like clients become friends, but friends hardly ever become clients. And I would never have thought years ago, in all the times that I've grown my career, studied business and done all these things, that I would have to put my face out there and be on Instagram to grow a business. But that's just the way the world works now. And it is, not natural for everybody. And, you have to overcome that bit of fear and uncomfortableness of putting yourself on video and posting it. But then to see friends who claim they support you and they don't, like that shows you.
And to them, it might not be a lot. To you,
a share, a like, and a comment is free.
But for them, it might not feel, it's only a like.
Yeah,
but to you, it does
it's
mean
what's
a lot.
behind that.
And
not
they know
like.
that. They should know that as someone close to you. So it's definitely all these things that you learn. As
And this is why we can create that space where people that think like us, that do support women, that do cheer each other on, we have people that we can lean on and we can celebrate with and we can help each other. Because part of the reason why I wanted to do this is because I did follow, there were 2 English women that ended up setting up an online business in America. And they said the same thing, like entrepreneurship is lonely.
Yeah, it is.
And there's nobody to talk to. Like, and we want to create that bit of corner of the internet. So like obviously the business has started online, but the only reason I do the in-person community here is because I want those women around like each other. Because we can do big things when we're together. Like women can run the world. I do believe that.
No, definitely. You surround yourself with people, or girls in this case, with this mentality and that are chasing their dreams as well. Probably won't be jealous of you.
Absolutely not. No, I think there's a difference between jealousy and, like you say, the complete opposite of that is in being inspired, and that can actually help you, because the more inspired you are, the more action you're going to take. So talking about mentality, you said that being a CEO isn't just like a label, a title, it's a mentality. What do you mean by that? Because you would have gone from an employee to a CEO, and that's a big shift that a lot of people have to make when they start out on their own.
Well, at least for me, I think I've been a CEO my whole life.
Okay.
I just had to be an employee for this circumstance in this point specifically. But when I was at uni, I started a clothes shop website, and it was working really good. So I always had this. That's why I started business. I mean, business degree at uni, because I wanted to lead a business at some point. So I think for some of us, maybe not all of us, but some of us, yes, it's something you're born with.
And you knew you were always going to do that.
I didn't know which field. Exactly. But I knew I was going to have a business or a few businesses.
A few businesses.
But I think you're born with it. Well, for some people may this not relate, but for some of us, you're born with it.
No, I agree with that. I saw something that said CEOs or entrepreneurs are basically people that are unemployable. So like I don't make a good employee because I just am a business owner.
Definitely.
Like, that's the way it goes.
And it's very related. I don't know if any of you girls have it, but to ADHD. I definitely have ADHD diagnosed. So probably they said the rate of, or the percentage of ADHD people between the CEO or entrepreneurs is
really
like
high.
80%. I don't know. I may be wrong in the numbers, but it's really high amongst the.
I can see how the traits would definitely match up. Because you do have people that are good with, here's the instructions, follow it, go and do it, and the people that are just creative, that pull ideas from
definitely
everywhere,
unemployable.
Have the vision. Well, like you say, it's finding what's good for you. And I think, there's a lot of talk about ADHD now, which is great because it's kind of releasing that stigma of like, it's something that's going to hold you back. And actually it can really set you forward if you use it in the right way.
Exactly.
And no, I agree. I think, to be fair, I think it's definitely something I actually want to get tested for. I would never have thought that about myself growing up.
Same.
But having said that, I think I'm such a masker that nobody really knows what's going on in my head. I'm very good at covering it up. And I think we've got a lot of kind of autism, ADHD in our family, and Asperger's and these things that now are more talked about. It's easy to recognise. But it shows up a lot in people in my family. But I think I've always been very good at covering it up and being like a high functioning version of that. But definitely I'd say the last 6 months I feel like my brain is just completely changing, and I'm really starting to feel like the things that people say are the traits and like struggling to focus.
How old are you exactly?
35.
Well, that's when the prefrontal cortex finishes developing for ADHD people. So maybe it makes sense.
Yeah, well, maybe I might book a little appointment after this.
We've had a guest
conversation.
on previously who wasn't diagnosed, but she's kind of self-diagnosed herself, should we say. And it just made her understand everything a lot better.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that if you was to be diagnosed or at least tested and, just investigated a little bit more, just to understand, I mean, we all know ourselves, but just that little bit more understanding of ourselves helps, doesn't it? So,
I think so. I think so.
And if you have a degree, and you turn up to have ADHD, you probably have a high IQ that has covered it all up.
Exactly.
So, I have ADHD, but I have a degree, so it might sound
conflicting.
Yeah. So the answer for that is it doesn't take me long to learn something. I don't have to sit for hours to understand. Exactly. So that's why it came out easy for me.
Yeah.
So high IQ ADHD girls are easily never diagnosed.
No, I agree with that. The more I've seen, the more I've learned, and just how I felt over the last 6 months, I feel like quite a big change to the point where it's becoming a little bit uncontrollable and harder to cover up. Whereas before I felt like I always was, but I just thought that was me and like my thoughts and how I do things. But with more education and knowledge, and also feeling like a little bit like, I'm actually struggling to keep it all together.
This might not normal.
Definitely. No, it'd be interesting to find out a bit more. And obviously being a CEO, owning your own business, everybody wants it. What do people not see?
As we said, the loneliness, that's the worst part, and the mental load. That's
you never switch off.
Never.
Yeah.
Like they say, a friend to Nandi the other day, because I don't know if you saw some of my stories. We didn't take the kid to school and we went to La Bocana, in the Bacalar area. And we put some stories there, and one of his friends was, you're working? Yes, you're working, because I put our story saying what it looks like versus what we're doing, and we were on our phone. And what they don't see is I can be there, but I'm working, and I don't stop when 8 hours go on. I carry on, and I'm on my sofa and I'm on my phone, I'm thinking, what can I do and how can I improve this? So is the never switching off, as you said. Never, you never finish. You fall asleep thinking of the things you can do, and you wake up rushing because of the things you have to do.
And it's all on you, right? Because who else is going to do it? And, I think I feel a little bit like that, and I'm not even running a business. I'm in a career, and I feel like that. So I can only imagine the extra pressure that comes from you being the one driving the ship. Because it is exhausting, like all the things that we have to think of, like in terms of running a household, looking after children and all their appointments, and then being a wife, and then a business, like it's a lot to juggle. And like you say, I don't think people realise how physically tiring the mental load can be. What do you do to help yourself?
I like to take my time 2 or 3 times a day. It doesn't have to be much time. Maybe sometimes half an hour on my own, on my phone, and which whatever gives me dopamine. That probably is scrolling some reels or being with my baby lying in the sofa. So I try to do that a couple of times a day before shutting off. But I think it has to do a lot with my ADHD as well, because I get overwhelmed when I'm with people too much time, or when we are socializing a lot that day, and I have...
That is I was just thinking the same thing. I took my sister to the airport yesterday, and Liam was like, I'll take her. I was like, no, I need to go out and be by myself.
Definitely. And the older you grow, the more you allow yourself to this, because when you're younger, no, I can't go home now. They're going to think I don't want to be here. And now it's like, well, I tell you what it is like, and you choose if you believe me or you think I don't like you, but I'm going home for a nap.
This is how it is.
I think you become a little bit more confident in what you need when you get a bit older. I feel like I spent a lot of my 20s, I think I said this when we were talking about ADHD, like people pleasing
People-pleasing.
and always doing what made other people feel comfortable. I didn't want other people to think that I was being rude or impolite. And, you know, I would always put myself in these social situations. And then when I leave, like, I've got a migraine because like I've pushed myself so far to be there and do what looks normal. But it takes a lot out of you until you realise, like, when you leave, like, oh, God, I'm exhausted. But yeah, I thought that was just me. I didn't really realise.
I was just thinking, that's Bill.
No, totally. Yeah. So I've decided to take this time for me before I get burnout. Yes, I do a lot.
Yeah, no, that's really important, and it's good that you notice that. And it can be quite hard because we've always got something to do.
Yeah,
without feeling guilty, like you say. I think it's as we grow, we do get better at feeling less guilty for taking real time for ourselves, whether it's just 10 minutes on your phone or whether it's going to get a massage or whatever it is. As we do get older, we do get better, not perfect, but we do get better at learning, no, this is what we need for me, for my family, for my home, for my business, or whatever it is. It's definitely gets easier in doing those things, I think, as we get older.
To be the best you have to do those things. And I think, the older you get, you become wise to that. Whereas before, it's like, I'll just push myself and push myself and push myself until the point where I can't do it anymore. But then, like Liam said to me, even just with like all the business that I'm doing, when I get stressed and overwhelmed, he's like, don't do it. He was like, I only want you to do it if you enjoy it. And I'm like, I do enjoy it, but I'm also stressed and overwhelmed.
It's because we care. If we didn't care, we wouldn't feel like we do.
I've come to the conclusion now that it feels easier because we've covered the basics, you know? All we do as a game now. Because, for example, at least in our case, with what we got and what we managed to build and some inheritances, we probably wouldn't have to work if we wanted a normal life, normal people life. So all we do out from that for us is now, like a game. Like if I get there, okay, I got there. If I don't, it's okay.
The pressure's off in a way. Like I'm doing this because I want to do it and because I want more. But I don't have to make ends meet. I don't have to try and cover the mortgage. So I think, it's a great position to be in, for sure. Obviously, you've had to work your butt off to get there, and as a couple as well to do that. But I think having that kind of mentality of whatever I make from here on out is the fun bit, is the extra. And I think
it's a different type of pressure. It's we like pressure, but it's a different type of pressure than what we've used to doing before we got to that point.
I don't like to say
it's nice to choose, whereas before you probably didn't have so much of a choice.
I don't like to say I'm stressed or I'm doing too much, because I know some mothers are struggling to pay rent, to fill their fridge with groceries. So I know that's harder. I'm aware of that. I'm not gonna say, oh no, being a CEO, I quite admire, a Spanish one, Jose Elias, says no, it's different problems. Yes, it's different problems. But your problems, he says, they're more difficult or more hard to deal with. I said no, they're probably more complicated to solve, but that doesn't mean they're harder to deal with.
For sure. I'd say I feel probably a similar level of stress now than I did 10 years ago. But like you say, it's a different stress, because back then I was trying to build a career, I was trying to buy a house, I was trying to, start a family and get married, and like it's still stress, and you never have enough money. Now it is different. I am more comfortable, but I'm still like, because we're ambitious, we want to keep growing. And it's not.
But it's a battle between you and you, not you and the world. It's very different.
I love that. That is definitely very, very true. So what would your advice be? I mean, you've grown your Instagram to nearly 40,000 followers. So you're obviously doing very well. Building a personal brand online is a huge, I think, help to businesses now. How would you advise someone to do that? How would you advise me to do that? Because I have a little following at the moment.
Well, I always say this, it might sound unpopular, but the Instagram is full of pretty girls that are prettier than us, and probably doing better than us, richer than us, better cars than us. So pay a little ads, and your community will grow, because what is not that easy to grow organic is very easy to grow paying a little ads. You may don't have to spend that much, but maybe you give a push to one of the reel
Give
of your
yourself a little-
of 3, 4, 5 euros on a reel. It pushes them very farther than those 3, 4, 5 euros.
Yeah.
So I say spend a little money on ads.
Invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those little
That's
things
what it
that
is.
people don't probably think about, I suppose,
Yeah.
you know? They're like, oh, come on, when actually just this little bit of investment can help you.
People are really reluctant to spend
Yeah.
50 quid a week on ads, but would go out for dinner for 50 quid.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's investing in yourself. I'm a huge advocate for investing in yourself. I spend a lot of money on courses and different things.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. Organic growth used to be easier. It's so much different
because
now.
there's so many people, and
not like having-
there's always someone better than you.
Yeah. And you can't sell a business, you can't sell your services, your products if you can't be seen.
Yeah.
You need to be seen. So no, it's the truth about it. Pay for ads, pay to get your business out there. Just like people would pay for a billboard, you're paying for an online billboard.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
People
see it differently, though. People do see it differently. It's like, oh, I'm not paying for social media.
I've got 5 followers.
But they don't see it in a different way.
Of course.
Suppose, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's good advice.
Yeah.
And do you feel pressure to look good on camera, or are you used to it now?
I started my Instagram a year and a half ago, more or less. So it was more then than now. Now it's like whatever it is.
This is me.
Yeah.
And
I
actually,
think in the start is the fear is more real.
Yeah, at the beginning for sure. And you can tell just going back and looking at like videos when you first started. I mean, I wouldn't even want to look at those videos of myself right now. But yeah, you just become more natural, the way you talk, and you care a little bit less. And actually, the more of what I'm seeing now is people that, you know, doesn't really matter what they're wearing, you know, how done up they are, talking to the camera like they're talking to their friend. Like I always thought like, it needs to be scripted. I need to sound really intelligent. I need to say everything perfectly.
No,
and
people like it natural.
They prefer it.
The content that I like to consume is straight to the point. Give me the value. Let me know that you know what you're talking about, but you don't have to be a robot and speak super intelligently. Like, I don't think it has to be like that.
You can swear every now and then. You can put your hair on top of you. You can. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes we can do our hair and makeup, and we can make an effort.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's okay.
Someone where you see all of it.
I'm still growing.
No, definitely.
You know? So yeah, I do. I think it's important that you are. You're not so bothered now. I suppose, like you say at the beginning, you're more. I don't know what you're bothered about, but we are, aren't we? We seem more
because
bothered
you've
about
never seen yourself, so you think, what if people think I'm horrible and I've always been in a lie and the world lied to me and I'm a horrible human being, like the looks of me, but then it's his life. It's when you go out to speak with clients or to order coffee, it's just the same.
There's other people's opinions as well, and other people's opinions aren't going to pay your bills. They're not going to fulfill your life. So, I think...
But that comes with being a mother as well.
Yeah.
I didn't think like that before.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you have to advocate for your child and ignore people's opinions. So that definitely reinforced this way of thinking.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if you relate, but...
Yeah, no, definitely. You do. You need to trust yourself more.
Yeah.
You need to, you know... I don't think there's anything that you do in life apart from when you then have a child, where more people give you the most advice. Like, you know, when you start work or you're at school, like you get advice, but as soon as you have a child, it's like everybody's advice just comes from everywhere about everything.
Yeah, and it really matters to you. So I think that's when the people pleasing you dies. Because I don't care what you think, even if you are the grandma, even if you are my mother, I don't care what you think. I'm doing what I think is best for my child.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's hard for me to say a change because I was a mum from so young, so I don't even know where the change came. To be honest with you, but I certainly can see a change in other people.
Yeah,
you know, from before children to having children. That. I don't know if it's a confidence in yourself. Of, no, this is my decision and this is how I'm going to do things now. Like you say,
you have to do it.
Advice and it comes from everywhere and everyone. And I can just see that before they would more second question their decision or what they were doing than when they became a parent. It is. I definitely can see that.
But I think you're quite a confident parent. I'd say between me and you, I probably still think, am I doing the right thing? Should I do this? Should I do that? To myself, like, I'm not like, taking everyone's opinions on. So I do agree, like, I am trusting myself. But I do think it through and second guess, whereas I think you're very like, no,
she's been a
this
mother
is the
for
way.
long.
But as well,
Probably she's had a few extra years on me.
I think I'm more confident parent.
That's what I mean.
Not person.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
totally.
Going on people, I think you're more a confident person.
Yeah.
Yet as a parent, I'm like, no, this is it. And whereas other things in life, I'm like, I don't know.
True.
You're like, yeah, no, this.
Yeah. I think, when it comes to business, I'm probably more comfortable with that, and you're definitely.
Yeah, we got levels of trusting our different abilities, and you really trust your mother abilities, and maybe you trust your social abilities more.
Definitely. But even recently, we had family that passed away, and everyone's telling me that I should tell my son about it, and I'm like, no. And that's probably the one time where it's like a really big thing, and there's a lot of people in my family that have a different view. Luckily, me and Liam are on the same page. But that's probably been the first time where I'm like, should I really consider everyone else's thoughts about it? And it's a really big thing. But no,
you as a mom, as his mom, and it's your child.
That's probably the first. With you saying advocate for your child, that's like the first thing that came to my mind, where I've really stuck my foot down.
And he's probably a small version of you, so you know better how would you have liked it to happen when you were little. So you're the perfect mom for him. You probably know better.
I like that. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. So talking about motherhood, just to kind of merge the two together, do you have boundaries when it comes to work and motherhood? Obviously, you said like the reality is a lot of the time I'm working constantly. Yeah, I might have flexibility over my day to go and grab lunch, but actually I'm working, I'm doing this that people don't see. Do you have set boundaries where it's like, no, this is it, and now I'm a mum, or does it all just merges together throughout the day?
When I had Lisa, I had this kind of timetable that I try really hard not to skip, and it's I take her to my mother after school on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. So I have those afternoons for work, and I give her totally Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday, obviously. And that's like a way for me as a mom to think, okay, I'm giving half a week, so 3 days and a half to work, and I'm giving 3 days and a half to my daughter, which is probably not like that accurate, 50%. But in my head, it works. And I really, unless it's that a client's coming on holiday and cannot see me, unless it's a weekend, I really try not to put anything on my diary for Thursday and Friday, and the weekends always.
So you try to bulk up like the Monday to Wednesday, do as much as you can for the week, so that you've invested in the business, you've done what you need to.
I've done that since I've done that since I had Elisa. I've tried that since the beginning. I don't know if it's working, but we're here.
If it works for you.
I think that's a very, very good thing for you to do, because I see a lot of people in business and they're great. Their business is fantastic. But that time that's really precious, they lose it.
No, it comes back.
And it doesn't come back. And I think once you then in that motion of working all that time, you can't get out of it.
No.
So where you've put that boundary right from the beginning, I think it's really clever and important, and because it's something that I do. I'm quite big on mine. I'm like, people can't get in touch with me once that's it. We don't even know where my phone is. Like it's gone, it's out, it's home, I'm with you, and that's it, So, but I know people do struggle with it, or not even. Some people don't even see it. Some people don't even see that it's actually happening.
That's even worse.
So that's great, and it's business, but actually your home life is not. You know, not really.
I think it's really difficult to be able to have a successful business, fulfill your ambitions and your potential as your person, raise good human beings, be a wife. Like, it's really hard, and especially when you are ambitious and you want to keep growing and you want more, it's very easy to just give all your time and attention and your energy energy more than anything to that, because there's no point going, I don't work Fridays if I'm absolutely ruined by Friday because I've worked so hard. I can't even talk to the kids.
Yeah, I think the little thing that makes the difference is if you are able to get help. I have help in all areas. I have help at home. I have a cleaner that comes every day. I have help with Elisa. I have my parents. I say it's not like a nanny, but isn't paid, but it is like hiring a nanny. And you need help at work if you work for yourself. So I have an employee that is like my right hand. I don't know if you say that in English.
Yeah, right hand is exactly it.
But that you can rely on.
Exactly.
So they're not just people, you can actually rely on these people. And we say this so much about asking for help and making sure you do. You do, because as you can't do it all on your own. Nobody can.
No.
Yeah. You've mentioned this loads.
You can if you are a mother and you just take care of your house and your child and your husband works like he used to be.
Yeah.
Then you can.
Yeah.
It's one job.
Yeah.
We're asked to do several jobs.
We're doing a lot of jobs. And I think that is so nice to hear. I'm definitely going to see if I can get a cleaner.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed.
You don't have one.
I'm not allowed because
Liam
maybe I'll
said
clean the house for the cleaner. So, and I get it. I completely get what it's because I would.
Yeah.
Oh, quickly, the cleaner's coming. Let's clean up. We'd be like, what?
But you stop doing it. You do it for the first couple of times.
Yeah. Then you get used to it.
When you know she's found your pants in the basket, you say, okay, I'm done.
I do pay to get my mother-in-law to do my ironing. That's took a massive job off my hands, which even just noticing one little job. So no, it's great to be honest and be like, look, to have it all for what it looks like, you know, and for me to enjoy my life in all of the areas, I have help.
Yeah,
and I think our age group are the worst people to ask for help. So it's good. Like, you know, if when my mum lived here, she doesn't now, but when she did, she would always offer to help. Yes, and I didn't have any guilt with you know her looking after the kids because they both enjoyed it. But if you need childcare, we cannot physically do everything. Yeah. So if you want to do each thing really well, or if you want to focus on one thing, you need support. Yeah.
I remember when I had my first, I remember people would ask to have him and do this. I thought, no, it's okay. I'll do it. And someone gave me advice. It was like, if someone offers to help, take it. Take it. And I don't think it was until my second I was actually like, you can. I'm going to go and do this because actually I can't do it all, or I can. But by the end of it, I'm like this anyway, so it wasn't really worth it. You know. So I
definitely.
You need help, and a cleaner is not that expensive. It's one of the most basic services you can hire. It's like €10 an hour, and you probably don't need more than for your house. My house is a normal 4-bedroom house. And we have her 8 hours a week in the house. So it's not that much.
The amount of 8 hours out of your time would make you so much more stressed than if you then have those 8 hours back. And is it worth €80? Absolutely.
Especially when you're coming in or going out. And for me personally, that load on my mind of, oh, right, I need to do this and I've got to do that and that needs.
And I have to do it in that order because then I need to be able to get the washing out and hang it out so it can dry and do it.
Because I've tried to not doing it too. And it doesn't work.
No,
because just ignore it. I can't ignore it. It's there.
No, you can't ignore it.
It's not there. It's there.
You need an organization in your house to develop your best self. Yeah. And I don't think it's the same to have someone come to your house once a week for 8 hours, because then you have the load of every day.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, that's what we do. So every day when I come back home after work, everything from the day before is already cleaned. There's no dirty dishes. There's no laundry to fold or to put in the washing machine. So it's a little bit every day. And my house is not spotless, but it's a house we live in. But it's there's never anything to do. Dishes are done, clothes are done, and I just cook.
Like you say,
that's what I like to do.
If you enjoy it, fantastic. But just having those hours back in your week it probably makes a huge difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Good advice.
I love that advice. So your journey to motherhood wasn't as straightforward as some people. And the more we talk about it, the more we realise a lot of people go through, all different things to raise a family and start a family. Do you mind sharing a bit more about that?
Well, Elisa didn't come easy. I had 6 miscarriages before her. Wow. that was the lowest point of my life. I never hit rock bottom like I did that season. But I grew up from it. I totally changed. It totally changed my mindset, my priorities, my everything. So last pregnancy, the one from Elisa, the successful one, my business was already in a very good position. And I think that's one of the things that let her come into this world, is because I have everything ready for her.
The timing.
So I like to think that it was fate, that I didn't have my life ready when I wanted her to come, and she came when the moment was the right one.
It's funny because I think the same thing, because I had Kaysen, and then I had, when we decided to have a second, I had 2 miscarriages in a year, and then I got pregnant at the end of the year. And I think back, even though that all happened in the same year, from the January to when I fell pregnant in the October, my career and life just would have been very, very different. And actually, that little bit of extra time just helped things fall into place. I've got a very similar.
It's funny because
think of it like
I was talking on I don't know, it's a Spanish podcast, so you probably haven't heard of it. It's called Madres Inmediatas. And I was talking to this girl about not miscarriages, but pregnancies, and how it makes sense. And most of the people she has lately spoken with thinks the same. It's like our careers kind of take off when we get pregnant.
Yeah, because a lot of people think you have to pause your career.
They're ready.
Yeah, but a lot of people think that having kids affects your career in a negative way. I think that's a lot of ambitious. I was really worried about making the decision to have Kaysen, our first child, because I was building my career up. I'd been, promoted a few times and I was in a good position. But then I was like, is now the right time? Is now not the right time? Like, can I do both? How do I, continue to be so, driven? But then I feel like I'm going to have to put everything on pause. So it's nice to know that actually it sometimes helps accelerate things.
Yeah. And I think as we are best of manifesting what we want in life when we are carrying a baby inside. I mean, we got twice the strength of doing what it takes to do something.
That's a nice way of thinking about it. Double the strength.
And that power that
we
brings.
have it.
Yeah.
So if you think about girls, and women, most of them got their career upgraded when they got pregnant.
And the more people you speak to, you realise it's not as straightforward as it looked to have a baby. Like in a friendship group, there's normally a couple of people that have suffered different things, whether it really just struggled to get pregnant to start with, had miscarriages, ectopic pregnancies. Even I've known people that have had the first child, no problem, then struggled the second time. So, the more we talk about it, the more we realise it's not always straightforward. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But in the end, obviously, you got there. So it was worth pushing through the worst time.
Of course.
And, I know after my second miscarriage, I didn't expect the second. The first one, I'd heard about things a little bit and, it was sad. But
I was literally tell you it's normal and
okay,
it won't happen again.
Yeah, the second time shocked me. And then from that point, I was thinking, well, maybe it's just not going to happen for us again. So I can imagine after 6, that feeling must be so high. Do we even bother keep trying? Do I keep putting myself through this? It must be really tough to push through.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was speaking of when I said about being brave at the beginning. It's like if I was not brave, which I think is one of my better qualities, I wouldn't have tried again, because 6 is a lot. And most women say, I don't want to go through it again. It's painful, it's debilitating, it's horrible for your body. I mean, I gained like 10 kilos in that year and a half, because obviously the hormonal imbalance is crazy.
Affects everything, right? Mentally, emotionally, physically.
You eat more because you need the dopamine. It was awful on me, but then if you're brave enough to overcome it, the best of your life comes after.
Yeah. No, that's lovely. What has been your favourite stage and age so far?
I don't know. I'm coming to
any stage.
Maybe we should
is there one?
No, but I'm coming to a point where I really miss having a baby. And I'm in that moment where I want one. I want to hold myself for a couple of years because I've learned and read a lot about it, and for the parents' mental stability and romantic relation, the best age is between 6 and 7 for the first time.
Yeah.
So I really don't want to put that extra on me and Nandita doing so many things, and we've kept it alive, like we got the spark going on, so I don't want to kill it. I want to be Elisa independent enough for us to have another baby. I definitely want one. Coming to the question, I miss having a baby, and when I see a newborn, I totally miss it. But every year, it's better. Like I meet a better version of my daughter, so I wouldn't know what to say.
Yeah, I agree there. Like it does, especially at that age, because they change so much in a year.
Yeah.
Like,
How old?
She's 3.5.
Yeah, definitely. They do.
But I agree with you there, because I never wanted to have two close together.
Yeah.
So I know the typical age gap is about 3 years old when you normally have
And most people
the next
divorce.
one. And, it's, tough. The divorce rate is very high. I know that I wanted to wait a bit longer.
Yeah.
So we got to around 5. And that's when we were debating, do we have another one? Do we not?
I think
We're
that's
so
great.
comfortable. And then I was like, no, I do want another one. And then by the time we actually went through what we went through and then had Hayden, Kaysen was 6.
Yeah.
It's been a great age gap.
Yeah.
Because like you say, there's just so much going on. And when you throw 2 kids in back to back that both need you, because a toddler needs you just as much as a baby needs you, it's very demanding on, not like you say, not just you, but your relationship, the people around you, your work. So yeah, I particularly enjoyed a gap.
I like
and your
hearing
first
this.
age gap was about 6 years.
Yeah, mine was obviously different again because of my age, having my first. But the age gap was 6 years as well. Going on to Lexi, I did want a bigger gap between them two. I actually had her earlier than we kind of planned, but in the end they was 3 years. But the way it went here, when the time obviously that I had her, was that my middle one started school, and then I had her, so I did still have that time of But again, when you plan it in your head, I was expecting to have maybe a year, again, just maybe for me and maybe for them too, and then to put that focus again into effort into the baby, because I do feel like when you have a baby, not that you forget them, because you don't, but that focus more goes on the baby because
that's
they're
natural.
babies. And depending on what age this child is before them, it can make a big difference. Like especially for me, he was only 3. That's so young. So young to have to grow up. You know what I mean? And it becomes that way. So I do agree. I do think it was definitely nicer to say nicer. Everything's great as they've grown up as well. But in terms of the time, it definitely gives you that time to focus on them, each age stages and yourself.
Especially when they get to the age where they actually have a personality, you can communicate. They do have things that they're interested in. Because if you have like a 2-year-old and a baby, it's like the 2-year-old, like you've kept them alive, but you've not got to the age where they, you
their
get
character
to know.
changes, their personality.
You
They pick
cannot
up things
explain
from
and
nursery and other people because they're not with you all of the time too. So they even pick up things that you think, where have you got that from? That makes you giggle and it is important. But I also know people who prefer that closer.
But I think that's the people that don't like being parents, because most people say, no, I want them close together because then you do it all at once.
I see what you mean.
I love being a parent. I love this life. I'm not thinking of them growing up and going to parties and everything. If I can make this longer than it is, sounds perfect to me.
The only thing I would say with that for me now is, obviously I've always wanted a lot of children, and through different situations we decided we wasn't going to have any more. We have 3 and that's great. That's
Quite
great.
enough.
You always wanted 4,
I
so
did.
you did have one less than you planned.
But what my point was now, that I feel that if I was to have a baby now, with my youngest being nearly 10, it changes the dynamic, because I feel like they're all at ages where you can do different things. It's a different stage. And then if I was to have a baby now, again, it would be like, right, focus.
Yeah.
When we miss, not miss, but miss, then that's
I see where you're coming.
You know?
Yeah.
So as much as a gap's great, I do think as well.
Yeah. I never seen it from that
much.
point of view. I like that you say that.
Yeah, because you do it stages. I talk about with this all the time. I know I'm in a different stage now to most people, because I was so young, you know. But talking about having more and them age gaps and the pros and the cons, I would have probably had babies forever, to be honest. But because of that kind of point for me was like, no, let's appreciate what we've got.
Yeah, you want to be there for them.
Yeah.
I see you now.
Yeah, because even now, we're getting to a stage where we can go out for dinner a little bit more. We can go for like walks, like because he's a little bit bigger. But you do spend like maybe a year and a half, sometimes even, well, he's 2 next month, of changing your normal things that you do or the places that you go to accommodate for a baby and another kid.
I remember years and years ago, I mean, I'd probably get a bit more better now, but years ago when mine were young and everyone go to the beach, I'm like, nah, I ain't going to the beach. I ain't going to the beach. It's too much hard work trying to keep standing out the baby's mouth. You know, like that kind of stage. I'm like, you go to the beach, I'll see you later.
No, it's true.
No, definitely,
What are some life lessons or something that you want her to see that you've done or that you want to pass on, for especially for a daughter? So this is out of my expert zone.
No, that's a good question, because I remember my mother always telling me, obviously my mom and my dad are together, they're in a happy marriage and everything, but she always told me for some reason that I need to have my own finances and do my own money.
Running away money.
Yeah. On the last episode, my dad's got his running away money.
So I have a stability in my home. My mom always told me that and reinforcing me having a degree and working for my own and all of that.
That's quite unusual for a woman who's still married for so long. Normally it's women that have gone through breakups and divorces that have experienced not having that give that wisdom. So it's good that she had that wisdom.
But I don't know, she never worked. I mean, she's always been a mother and she had a nurse degree and everything, but she didn't use it. Probably she was talking about that. But I think I'm the first in my family who has already done it. So that's what I want for my daughter, that she can see her mother did it. Her mother didn't need to be married. She was married because she loved dad. And being brave enough to do her thing and not rely on anyone, of course. You can rely on someone, but not so much that you could never run away.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, I always say that is that I choose to be with you. I don't need to be with you.
Exactly.
And there is a big difference there. And relying on someone, like you say, there is a good amount. I do definitely rely on Liam.
Yeah.
But it's not because I can't do it without him. Exactly. But it's because relying on each other, you have that trust.
Yeah.
So it's different.
Nandi and I are on a point where I could afford the life we have without him, and he could definitely afford the life we have without me. But together, we get to build from that life. And if we use my money, we build with yours. And if we use your money, we build with mine. Yeah. So I get it's a great composition.
Yeah. And talking about Nandi, obviously, you guys were friends for, what was it, like 15 years or so, give or take, before you ended up
I met
together.
him at 16, and he's
was it
older.
16, was it?
Yeah, I met him when I was 16.
Wow, I was younger than that.
Well,
no.
About the same.
Was it?
Well, we would have met him when we were about that age.
No, I was with Mitch since I was 15. I would have met them at like.
Oh God,
13,
yeah, no, we were
14.
younger, of course. Yeah.
You
No, you're right. We would have met him when we were about 13. So yeah, it was a couple of years later.
Yeah, no, I was 16, and what was it's like 21 years.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. So you were friends for a long time, in each other's lives, knew each other, friendship group, and then you got together.
Yeah.
So what changed? How did you go from looking at someone as a friend for so long? It must be actually harder to change how you look at someone.
Or is it easier? I don't know.
Probably
don't know.
easier
It came
to
up
set a
so
life
natural,
up,
and definitely something shaped. And I think that it all happened is like perfectly orchestrated. Like he asked me so many times, "Did you have it planned?" I said, "No, I don't." It just happened so magically. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like it was written. It was going to be like that, and everything changed. And obviously, I get it is different from someone you don't know, and you act like a different person when you are starting with someone and you put this mask on. We couldn't do that.
Yeah.
You already know each other.
Well, this is it, because you didn't see it coming. So you've grown up with these years of, like you say, being in the same friendship group and doing things with what you do normal day to day as a teenager.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, you get to this point, you think, actually,
Yeah.
actually, they're actually all
Who
right.
made the first move?
Me.
Oh, I love that. Love that.
Yeah, well, we were in a situation where I was working with his sister. So that brought it all, like,
A bit closer.
a lot more than lately. So for some reason, well, not for some reason, I know the reason, I didn't have a house. I just separated and I moved to one of my family houses that I told you I was working with the rentals. So I could be in that house as long as there were no rentals.
Yes.
And when there were rentals, I used to go to my mom's. But there were family coming to my mom's. It was summer. So I had nowhere to go. And his sister, Nuria, told me, my brother is leaving. He's going on a trip to, what was it? Mexico or Morocco? He was leaving. So he said, why don't you ask him to stay in his house? So it's the perfect time for you not to be in your rental.
Yeah.
So I went there. The thing is, and I was supposed to leave when he arrived, right? The same day. But my family decided to stay longer. So
it is very much like
The universe definitely made
I can
that
also
happen.
ask him. I can also understand why he asked, "Did you plan this?"
Yeah. So my family.
Because you came and never left.
So it was a good week. We were sharing a house.
Yeah, and you got on.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
when it happened.
Yeah. No.
Well, that's definitely. I mean, that's just giving me a bit of goosebumps. Like that definitely was meant to be. Because
Yeah.
to, like you say, to leave a relationship, not have anywhere to go to permanently, be moving around, then family, and then you made that happen, and then you didn't get to leave when you were supposed to. You had that one-on-one time.
Yeah.
If you didn't have that one-on-one time, you maybe
No.
wouldn't have looked at each other any
No.
different.
No, probably not.
So, wow, I love
And then
that.
21 years later,
Yeah, well.
you still haven't left. But that's lovely. It's a nice story, you know?
Yeah.
And again, you've gone through things as couples that, you know, that it's been difficult, but
Probably even as
got through
as
it.
you've gone through things just being friends together. I mean, I can imagine after a long time as friends, when you get together, you probably have friends that are like, love this, go for it. But you probably had some friends that were like, what's going on?
Yeah.
This is weird.
Well, even family, my sister-in-law was crazy.
Oh, really?
She hated it. Yeah.
How funny.
We stopped
just finding
working
it
together and
strange
everything.
because of that.
Oh, you stopped working together
Yeah.
because of it.
Ah, so she just didn't like that dynamic.
No.
And now, obviously.
Yeah.
Everyone's
No,
got
we're
used to it.
fine.
Yeah. Well,
I can imagine initially, it's a bit like you say, it's weird. Like, oh, that's my brother. What are you
Yeah.
doing? You're supposed to just be friends, you know? Why are you complicating the situation?
yeah. No, like you say, it's again, trusting your gut, knowing that
Yeah.
I don't care about other people's opinions. This is worth seeing
Yeah.
what happens. And now married, daughter.
Very happy. Couldn't have found a better partner.
Oh, how amazing. That is
is
really cool.
That is nice.
And what do you think, how has having like the perfect partner for you supported you in your like business journey? Because
So
you've
much
probably done quite the most of your growth while you've been together.
Yeah. And he's the same. I think, I don't know how it works. I can only make assumptions and theories. But definitely, if you look around, the people that is with a good partner just grow faster.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, like being comfortable at home, being able to share with someone who holds your same vision. I don't know how it works, but it is definitely a very, very important element in being successful, having someone by your side that thinks like you and that you can.
You're like each other's biggest fans.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's that. I think that, going out, whether you're working or whatever it is, or constantly getting calls of where are you, what you're doing, or go and smash it today, babe. Yeah, that's a huge difference.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and that helps. It helps in everything.
Definitely,
not just for growing a business or being a mum or partner, just in life, isn't it?
Yeah, and he was successful. Well, he's always been in the same field, but his career took off a few months before mine. So I always say I have to be grateful, because I think that being able to rely totally on him gave me the freedom to focus 100% and make my one take off.
Yeah, and it helps he's driven too.
Yeah.
He's not just there, he's supporting you, but he's got this drive and ambition for his life as well as yours.
Yeah.
And yours as a family, you know?
But some guys struggle with that. Some guys say, oh yeah, I'm supportive.
They're like friends.
And then as soon as you actually become successful, it's like, don't be as successful as me.
Yeah.
And they have a bit of an ego around it.
But that's good, because he always made a little more money than me. So,
you're always doing this. Chasing
when he the first year he hit 100, I hit 80. I hit 80, he goes a little further. So and me in the way. So yeah.
I think, like you said, the mental load is so much that if you can have a partner who doesn't cause you extra stress, but if anything just builds you up, then that's what I think fast tracks it, because I'm not wasting hours in my week, trying to please someone, argue with someone,
or find someone.
Exactly. Yeah,
I think that takes more time.
Yeah, definitely. Right. For sure. So how do you make sure as a couple that you stay connected? Because like you say, we talk about this all the time. We're building businesses, we're trying to grow, we're trying to be a great mum, be a good wife, like be everything for everyone and still have time for ourselves. But like, it's so easy to put, kids, career, like everything
it's
first,
like
and then
top one.
Yeah.
Your partner gets the less of you.
How do you keep that, like you say, the spark?
No, you have to. Your partner is the most important person if you want it to last forever.
Yes.
No, we take a lot of time. Like we go out to eat maybe 3-4 times a week. Then we go for dinner once a week without baby, and we sleep without baby. Either Friday or Saturday, I take her to either Nana or grandmother. Nana is his mom. So we make a lot of time for each other.
Which I think is important.
A lot of time. Like 80% more than normal couples.
I agree. I think it's so important though. With everything going on, it's so quick to lose.
Yeah.
Lose that time, which then loses the connection.
Yeah.
And it will happen. No matter how much you love someone, it would happen.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, and there are weeks where I feel he's got a lot going on, and I do, and we haven't seen each other that much, and I can feel the distance building. And if you leave that 1 week after 1 week after 1 week, you probably separate in 10 years.
Yeah. And the longer it goes on, the easier it is to just leave it that way.
Become disconnected from each other.
Yeah,
for sure. And I think we've said it, like, when there is a lot going on, sometimes it is allowing, that person to do more, and I'll, hold the fort while you've got a lot going on. And if I've got a lot going on, I need extra support than normal, and just being flexible. But I think you can't beat quality time together. And I think sometimes even when you're together, it's hard to not be on your phones, not talk about the kids, like not talk about it.
I think it's impossible.
Yeah. You have to do a bit of all of it. And I think, when people go, oh, we don't talk about the kids, we don't talk about
what
work.
do you talk about?
Yeah, exactly.
You know each other for so many years.
Actually, that helps you sometimes, like planning things and seeing the future and stuff. So
I love talking about my daughter with him and seeing him drool.
Oh, I bet she's got him wrapped around her little finger.
I also think with that connection and spark going out, I believe that when you do have a supportive partner each side, when they are supporting you, or they're driven to do what they do, or drive you to do what, that it's quite attractive.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you haven't got the time, you could just look at them and go, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because what you're doing just is just so attractive.
Yeah.
I think where most couples go wrong is that the woman ends up doing most, the guy ends up doing less,
And she resents
him. He is sick of being moaned at, and like you say, that distance continues, and that's what leads it on. I think you have to have someone who is just as in it as you. Like, I saw something the other day, and it was like, I've got a man who, I finished work, now I can spend time with you guys. Not, I finished work, I need a break.
Yeah.
And there is a lot to be said for a man who does that and who steps up and helps out.
Yeah, a run home man. I saw in a reel the other day. I'm so lucky I have a run home man.
Yeah.
But I'm a run home woman as well. So.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think we say the same thing, that we just genuinely enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have
my
to.
best friend.
Same.
Yeah, exactly. I don't don't get me wrong. I love girl time.
Yeah.
That's important. But I'm not sick of him. I do.
You don't need time from him.
Away from
You
him.
need your girls, but you don't. Yeah. It's not that you need time from him. I understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Well, we've now reached the last section of the pod, which is another little tradition. It's called the Unfiltered Minute. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask you some quick rapid-fire questions. One word or a couple of word answers, so you don't have to do big explanation, just the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay. Short sentences.
Yeah, short sentences, or even maybe just a word. So whatever comes to mind first.
Okay.
What is 2 words your friends or husband would describe you as?
Stubborn. Definitely.
Stubborn, and one more?
Oh, forgetful.
Okay. What is a small habit that you always do, that you swear by, that really works?
Thinking positive.
Yeah.
Nice.
What is something people think about you that's not true?
Yeah, I've thought about. I'm just trying to find the word in English. Like, I can find it, but I can find it in Spanish either. To tell you, being self-centered. I'm not at all. It can look like that because I'm very serious, but I'm not. No, I'm not self-centered.
Mm-hmm. What is next for you?
Work or life?
Anything. A goal, something that you've got your eye on.
Abroad and moving to Thailand.
Oh, wow, I did not expect that.
I didn't either.
Oh, watch this space, guys. What does growing together mean to you?
Growing together, well, I think that should mean reaching your best version hand on hand with someone.
Yeah.
Either
Love
it's your
that.
partner or friend or...
Or community.
Yeah, that'd be great.
What is something simple that brings you joy?
Sunsets.
We talked about sunrises actually
I
before.
didn't know which one was which. I knew what I meant.
Yeah.
And last thing, what is something you want people to know about you that we've maybe not spoke about?
I don't know. There's probably more things I want to hide than... Not really. What do I want them to know?
You feel like you've covered everything that you'd
I've
like
been
to
quite
express.
unfiltered.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I don't know.
You feel like you've got everything out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm more empathetic than it can look like at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I probably get that a little bit. I think when you do have that sometimes hard exterior, or it takes a little bit to process emotions and read. Yeah, I might not show that I'm empathetic, because I think that might be hard sometimes for me.
Yeah.
But I am feeling it.
Yeah. You're more like,
Maybe too much
Okay.
sometimes. I have a good friend of mine that always tells me, you are too forgiving, which he tells me in English because we don't quite have a word in Spanish for that.
Okay, too forgiving.
Too forgiving, yeah, because when I'm explaining someone's behavior, bad behavior towards me or someone I know, I always find an excuse for them.
Yeah.
So she tells me, you're too forgiving, she's done wrong, and you know that.
Yeah.
but that's your positivity in you
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
That's your mindset of that,
Yeah.
of trying to be not negative on anyone.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
see the positive side. You know, it's okay
think-
because of
Yeah.
this. You know,
Yeah.
they only did it because
I
of this.
think that's a trait that can go either way, because you can absolutely be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's why you have to be careful. But I think actually taking the time to understand and sometimes give excuses for why people have done it is, I think sometimes it's actually helps you process. It's not personal to me, like we spoke about, or like I get why they felt like that or they done that. I think can sometimes help you deal with a betrayal or broken trust and things. So it's not a bad thing completely, but I can see why you do have to give you that advice. Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Great.
I've loved this conversation.
I could go on forever. We did
I know,
we'll probably go on after we finish.
I've skipped questions now because I was like, I want to at least cover different areas, but it's been a really great conversation. I think exactly the embodiment of a woman that we built this community for. I'm sure a lot of our followers are going to relate to loads of things that we spoke about today. And I'm sure in all the different areas we've covered, we've been able to help people, which is, what we do.
I love how honest you've been.
And put light in some things that sometimes you don't say out loud, like miscarriages.
Like where you are now, but you've been so honest of where you was or what you've gone through to get there. And, not everyone puts that in. So real. So,
but then at the same time, unapologetically be like, I've built this and I've made it happen for me. And I am truly happy in all these areas. And this is an area that I want to get better in. It's just really refreshing to have, like I say, the honesty, see the behind the scenes of what it really does take to do it all and have it all. And no, I've loved it. So thank you very much for coming on.
Great chat.
It won't be the last time.
No, I'm sure it won't.
No. Maybe next time we'll have to dial you in from Thailand.
Not that fast.
Or we might have to fly over and do it in person. But great. No, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll catch you soon.
Have a good weekend.